Here comes the rules for geometry, where we will discuss first of all about equilateral triangle. So look at this figure which represents an equilateral triangle. So as such children, it is an equilateral triangle. So it has all three sides of equal measure. So let's represent all its side by taking a length of L units for each of its side. Now let's discuss regarding the perimeter of an equilateral triangle. So whenever we discuss regarding the term perimeter, it defines the total distance or the total length for any given figure. So let's discuss this. As such, we have taken the length of each side of an equilateral triangle, that is equals to L unit. Now, when we discuss regarding the perimeter of an equilateral triangle, we have to take sum of all its three sides to get the total distance for this closed figure. Now, if we know the length of each of its sides, we can even multiply the length of each of its side by 3, or else we can take the sum of all its three sides to obtain its perimeter. Now as such, we know the length of each side of this equilateral triangle we have represented using a term, that is small letter L. So we will write it in place of length of each of its side. So we will get its perimeter is equals to 3L units. Now let us learn about the another shape, that is a square. So look at this figure present on the screen. As such, you can see here children, it is a four-sided closed figure and it has all its sides of equal measure and each of whose angle is equals to 90 degree. Now let us discuss regarding the perimeter of a square. So whenever we talk about the perimeter for any closed figure, we have to define its total distance or the total length for the particular given figure. So as such, we have taken the length of each side of a square is equals to S unit. Then its perimeter will be given by taking sum of all its four sides. As such, it is a four-sided closed figure, or if all its sides are of equal measure, then we can even multiply length of each of its side with 4 to get the total distance or the perimeter for this given figure. So as such, we know that the length of each of its side we have represented using a variable, that is S. So that we are going to write here and we will multiply it with 4. So we will get the perimeter of a square is equals to 4S units. Now let us learn about the another shape, that is rectangle. So here look at this figure present on the screen. So children, you can see this is also a four-sided closed figure where we have two opposite sides and each of whose angles are equal to 90 degree. Now you see here the longer side we have termed as length, and that we are representing using a small letter L, whereas the shortest side we have termed as breadth, and that we have represented using small letter B. As such, it is a four-sided closed figure. So here we have four sides, but here we have two opposite sides which will be equal in measure. So here you can see that when I talk about the perimeter of this rectangle, I have to first define that what actually I have taken for the length of a rectangle. So that I have taken L units, and the breadth of this rectangle I have represented using a small letter B units. Now let us learn about the perimeter of a rectangle. So children, whenever we talk about the perimeter for any given shape, we have to take out its sum for all the given number of sides. Okay, so here you can see as such we have four sides, so all its four side measure we will take the sum. So while taking, so you can see that we have added L with the opposite side L and the breadth, that too with its opposite side breadth. Fine. So you can see here 2 times we have L, so we have got 2L. Then while adding the similar variable, that is b with v, you have got 2 times b. Okay, so as such you can see this 2 is common in both the variables, so that 2 we will take it out as a common number, and the rest of the terms we will write it inside the bracket. So it will be written like 2 multiplied with L plus B units. So perimeter of a rectangle can be given by 2 into L plus B units. Fine. Now let us come to the rules for arithmetic. So here as such we learned this property, commutativity of addition of two numbers. So children, in this property already we learned when we take any two numbers, okay, and when we change the order of that numbers we get the same sum. Fine. So this is what is stated by this property. So you can see the example present on the screen that we have taken two numbers. Let's say that number as 3 and 4. So when we have taken the sum for this two number towards the left hand side, we got 7. Now let us take the same numbers but by changing their order towards the right hand side. So you can see I have changed the order. The number which was the second number towards my left hand side, that number I have taken as first number towards my right hand side, and the number 3, it was the first number towards my left hand side, that I have taken it as second number towards my right hand side. So when I take the sum for this two number towards my right hand side, here also I am getting the same sum, that is 7, as like the sum I have got towards my right hand side, it is same like the left hand side sum. Now so this property we can even represent using the two variables. Okay, so let's say that two variable as a and b. So this commutativity property can be written like a plus b will be equals to b plus a. Now let us learn about the commutativity of multiplication of two numbers. So let's take one example again. So as such we have taken again the two numbers, let's say that 3 and 4, and when we are taking the multiplication for this two given number, we are getting the product is equals to 12 towards the left hand side. Now what, as like the previous property, what we have done here, instead of addition we have changed the order of the number and we have used a multiplication operation between this two given number. So here also towards the right hand side, after changing the order of the given number and taking their multiplication, we will obtain 12 only as their product. Fine children. So that you can see both the side we have got the same product. So what does this commutativity property states? Even if we change the order of any two given number, we get the same product both the sides. So if we want to represent this property using two variables, it can be expressed like a multiplied by b will be equals to b multiplied by a. Now let us learn about the another property, that is associativity of addition of three numbers. So here what we will do, we will take any three numbers. So let's say that number as 2, 3 and 4. Now first of all we will take two numbers together and that two numbers sum we will take first towards the left hand side. So by taking the sum for this number 2 and 3, you can see that we will get the sum is equals to 5. Then after getting the sum for the first two number, we will take the sum with the third number also. So when we add 5 with 4, we will get 9 towards the left hand side. Now what I will do towards my right hand side, I will take the same numbers, but this time I am going to add the next two numbers first, and after getting their sum I am going to add it with the first number. So here also you can see towards the right hand side, when I add this 3 with 4, I will get 7, and after adding this 7 with the 2, I will get 9. Okay, so you can see both the side we have got the same sum. So if we want to represent this property using any three variables, it can be given like a plus b first time, that has to be added with the third number, that is c. So here we have represented it using a variable c. Then it will be equals to the right hand side when we add the first variable, that too with the sum of next two variables. Okay children, now let us learn about the distributivity of numbers. So as such, whenever we have to multiply any two given number, okay, so here you can see that this property can be used, and this property will be helpful to us to get the multiplication done in easy way. So you can see here the first number is of 2 digit and the next number is of 3 digits. So what we have done, we have expanded the next number in terms of 100. Okay, so when I have written like 15 multiplied by 100 plus 20. So you can see inside the bracket I have two addends and outside the bracket I have one whole number present. So how I can proceed this, I will multiply the first whole number and I will multiply it with the first addend. Then I will place the addition sign, and then again the whole number 15 will be multiplied with the next addend, that is 20. So while doing so, while getting the product for each of these numbers, later on we will add. So we will get the answer is equals to 1800. So for this property we can even use it using the variable. So let's take that the whole number as a and the next two addend as b and c in terms of variable. So this can be expressed like a multiplied by first addend and then addition sign, and then next to that the first whole number can be multiplied with the next addend, that is c. Okay, so this is how we can express this property of distributivity of any three variables. Now let us come to the exercise question given in textbook page number 230. So here the first question is, the side of an equilateral triangle is shown by L, and you have to express the perimeter of this equilateral triangle using L. So look at this figure present on the screen. So as such children, we know that the equilateral triangle, it has three equal sides and all its three sides are equal in measure. So all its side we will represent using a unit L. So its perimeter will be given by taking the sum for all its three sides, so that it is L. Okay, so all the sides when we will add, we will get 3 times L. Fine. Now come to the next question, that the side of a regular hexagon is denoted by L. We have to express the perimeter of the hexagon using L. So here first of all we must know that we are talking about the regular hexagon, so all its side will be equal in length. Okay, and total number of side this regular hexagon has is equals to 6. Fine children, now look at this figure. We have drawn a 6-sided polygon. Okay, and its all side we have represented using a small letter L. Now see here, the perimeter for this regular hexagon will be given by multiplying the length of one side with 6. Okay, so 6 into L we will do, as each of its side we have represented using a variable L. So we will get 6L. Fine. Now come to the question number 3. A cube is a three-dimensional figure as shown in the figure. Now it has 6 faces and all of them are identical as said in the question. Okay, and the length of an edge of the cube is given by L. Find the total length of the edges of the cube. So as such you can see the figure is drawn and it is present on the screen. Now let's say that from the question itself we have the length of an edge of the cube will be given by L, so that we need to state as such from the question it is given. Now first of all we must know that what is edges. So children, edges means what? The two faces of a cube meet at a line segment. So you can see the total number of line segments we have for this cube will be equals to 12. Now when we talk about the total length of the edges, we have to multiply number of edges, that too with the length of one edges. So total number of edges are 12 and length of one edge is given by variable small letter L. So 12L we will get. Now come to the question number 4. The diameter of a circle is a line which joins two points on the circle and also passes through the center of the circle. Now we have to express the diameter of the circle, that is D, in terms of its radius R. So children, you can refer this figure present on the screen. As such, from the figure we know this AB represents what? Diameter, and this PC represents what? Radius for the circle. Okay, and C represents what? The center of it. Now looking the given figure, you can see the diameter, it is AB. So this AB we can even write like AC plus CB. Okay, now as such we know that when I take the distance from C to A, it represents the radius for the drawn circle, as well as C to B also represents the radius for the drawn circle. So I can write here small letter r in place of AC plus BC. Fine. So it will give us 2r, 2 times the radius, and we know that twice of radius gives us diameter. Now here comes your home assignment, that you need to solve question number 5 of exercise 11.2 given in textbook page number 260. So children, thank you. Complete your note.